Yeah, that's my shirt. Bakezilla. Yeah, my friend made it as a joke and I made it as a shirt. Yeah, he clowns on me all the time.
So, what was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo was on my ankle. Got it when I was 10 years old.
My name, actually.
First tattoo that I got was a leaf, a pot leaf on my elbow.
First tattoo was my grandma's name, Elena, on my chest right here.
The reason I got it on my ankle was because I had to hide it from my mom, you know?
No, she was really excited, you know. It was first time having her name on somebody's body. She loved it. She was happy.
I walked into a tattoo shop and I seen the gamings, you know, the gamings, and it said if you turn it over, you get a free tattoo. So I was good at that game. So I went to a tattoo shop and I said, hey, check it out. He's like, what? I go, I'm gonna play the game. He's like, whatever. So I played, boom, lost. And then I turned it over about an hour and a half later. I go, hey, psh. And it went ding, 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 ding. He's like, oh, okay. So then I had my pattern drawn out. I already had it drawn out.
She used to tell me, like, if you get a tattoo, I'm gonna slap you, you know? And I was 14 when I got my first tattoo. It was her name, actually, you know, and her name's Lilia. And I told my friend, I wanna get tattooed. And he was like, where do you want it? And I ended up doing it on my finger. And I guess it's my wedding finger. You know, my mom's forever, you know, so, and I still have it to this point, and it's a little faded, but it was my first tattoo. She slapped me. I got home, she slapped me. She was like, man, don't ever do that shit again. Next thing you know, the next day I ended up getting another tattoo.
And what was your childhood like growing up?
Well, you know, grew up around a bad neighborhood. My dad in and out of prison, you know. And I seen it out on the streets when I was a kid, so it went from there and just followed those steps, you know.
Yeah, friends, family. My family my dad had tattoos and shit. I seen him getting tattooed in the kitchen when I was a kid, and the day I seen him get tatted, I made a machine that night of the same that I seen, and I tattooed myself and others.
Where I came from, it teaches me a lot of how hard life could be and was, and how you can just switch it within you, because once you change, everything else follows. And that was the hard part with people in that, you know, rough neighborhoods that, you know, I grew up in. They don't have no outlets, and so they get stuck in the rut. And so for me, it was more like I would want out of this rut, so I just drew and drew and drew, and next thing you know, everybody wanted my art.
You know, I used to hustle. I used to sell drugs and stuff. And in my apartment complex, there used to be a guy that tattooed, you know, and I would sell him dope, and he would tattoo me for 20 bucks, a dope sack, you know, and I'll get a tattoo. So I'll do it at his house, and I was 14 years old, you know, and I would go to school, and people would trip out, like, damn, you got tats, like, what the fuck, who's doing them, you know, and, you know, I never said anything until, like, who I got them, you know.
Honestly, I grew up drinking, taken away from my mom when I was a kid, went through the system a little, and pretty much in the streets a lot. Like, I went to live with my father, and just went through a crazy lifestyle, and just drank a lot when I was 13 years old.
To me, I liked it. I said, you know, it was a bad thing to say, but to me, it was like, I want to be like them when I grow up.
Bumps, just as far as, you know, addiction with drugs, and I got out of it, and I'm happy I did, and I'm here today, and better than ever.
Got my grandpa on my body, who was somebody I really looked up to. You know, when I came back, I went to Colorado when I was a kid, got sent away, came back to California, he tried to straighten me out a little, and it just made me realize what I don't want to be, you know. I wanted to be better. You know, I had a choice whether to give in to everything that was gonna ruin me or try to help, like, just straighten myself out a little. And every day I struggle, but try my best.
How did you become someone who specializes in doing eyelids and doing faces?
Because I was asked to do it, asked to do it out of the norm, and if I can't do it right, then why should I attempt to do it?
I started tattooing. I've been tattooing 20 years professional. I would say 3 years with the homemade machine out of my garage. So I would say 23 years in total.
I lived off check to check, you know, didn't make enough. But I lived through, you know. It was cool. I didn't have a problem, you know. But when I got fired, it was like, what do I do? You know, I had a brand new car, had my own apartment, and I left everything for me to learn how to tattoo.
I've known about Carlos Macias for like pretty much since I first started. Actually, I remember doing my tattoo on my stomach, and I go into a shop where he was working at. I went showing him right away, you know.
My buddy wanted me to tattoo him for months and months, and I never wanted to tattoo him. But one day I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it, and I did it, and then from that day on, I never stopped.
I used to drive 2.5 hours to get to the shop and drive 2.5 hours back, you know, but I was committed. I wanted it. Like, I don't care, I'll drive 5 hours if I have to, but I wanted it, so it didn't bug me, you know.
There is no right way. You just do it. There's no right or wrong way in anything. In your interview, there's no right or way wrong to do it. You just gotta do it. Close your eyes and do it.
Do you close your eyes when you're tattooing?
Do I? Nah, who knows? You gotta keep an eye out on me, huh? You gotta check.
I'm around a bunch of OGs at the shop. You know, you got people, you got Louis tatting for 25 years, you got Mike Avena, almost 30 years, you got Carlos Macias. Like, they tell me like, hey, youngster, you don't even know, like, you know, like this and that, like, you know, like, we don't did that back in the day. And I was like, all right, like, I have respect for everybody, so I respect them, and whatever they tell me, I'm like, all right, I do it that way, you know?
It was a little bit more respect, a little bit, people were a little bit more united together. It was a little bit more love than what it is now. The ones that been around, been tattooing over that amount of time and longer, they still have the same respect, you know? And I respect every artist, but in reality, like, a lot of these artists are amazing artists, but there's just no respect how it was back in the day, you know?
It's all fucked up. Well, from the last 10, 15 years, everything's changed. Everything's changed. And there's no right or wrong way, I believe. I can't say that the people are doing it wrong now because I didn't do this correctly to become who I am now, today. You know, I just tattooed and never stopped tattooing.
I do everything. I mean, the way I see it, if you're a tattoo artist, you should be able to do everything, you know? Most people come to me, they just think I do black and gray. I do traditional Japanese, fine line portraits. I mean, to me, that's a real tattoo artist, to be able to do everything.
The industry grows so fast and these artists are getting so good, so young. And if I can't keep up or I can't do as they can do, why am I still tattooing? You know, am I gonna do the same thing forever? I see these kids doing things that are crazy and shit, I wanna try it. You know, you're gonna let me do it on you, I'm gonna do it on you. You know, if I can do it on your eyes, I'm gonna do it on your eyes. Because then I'm gonna step it up even more.
So what about your family? Who do you have looking up to you today?
Both my two kids, I have two boys. One of them is an artist, digital, and he does digital world gaming for the gaming world. And he has a very good knowledge of everything. He's probably knows more art than I do now. He's only 20.
At first, my son didn't like it. He thought I was a cholo, and he's like, you know, I don't want to be like you. And bringing him around and having all the artists from the shop, like, be around, and I don't know, they've helped him grow, and now he accepts it, he loves it. But my daughter's really into me being a tattoo artist. She's my #1 fan.
I don't think they see them. They grew up with them. To them, it's nothing. To them, it's their father. If I didn't have them, they wouldn't. My son's told me that before. If I didn't have my tattoos, how could I be his father?
I'm like the only one in the whole family that's tatted, you know? They all think like, oh, I'm a gangster, I'm a cholo. But honestly, I'm just a regular person with fucking tats.
My family supports me. You know, I had my dad that's been a tattoo collector over 20 years, which I just lost my dad. So his presence still here with us. So that was my partner in every tattoo convention, traveling. So my family supports me 100%.
Well, being a father, you want to be the best that you can, but your kids will only see what you're putting out. Yeah, he was always watching me tattooing. I always used to put him to draw a couple of patterns, and we just morph things together, and he'll just freehand little things all the time.
They mean everything to me. I wouldn't be nothing without them because they help shape me into a better person. Like, I look to them for guidance. Every tattoo I do, I go to show them the placements as well as the ending, and hope they could guide me and be like, hey, you could do this better. Because at the end of the day, I believe that's the only way I'm gonna get better. I love what I do and I want to get better at it. And without them, I'm not gonna be anything.
What does family mean to you as an artist in the shop?
Everything. Without it, there's nothing.
Family's everything. Means everything to me.
It's everything, you know. Like if you're gonna work with somebody like and you don't feel comfortable, then why are you there? Like nobody making me be there. Like I want to be there, so I'm gonna stay there. I feel like I'm at home. You know what I'm saying? I'm a family. I dance at the shop. I'm so happy that I'm there with all the guys. I get them pumped because I fucking be two-stepping or, you know, boogie dancing and shit, you know? Like, I'm happy and I love this, what I do, you know? Like,
when we're all together working, you know, when we're all together seeing each other working, drawing together, painting, whatever it is, you know? It's just like I said, like a family, so that's the most important for me, you know?
When I started tattooing, I left Cryptic Tattoo and I wanted to go back to where I learned how to tattoo. And Carlos told me, fuck no, you're not gonna come back like that. Like you're gonna go fucking put miles on your feet. Next thing you know, one day he tells me, hey, I want you to come home. Right there at that instant, I was like, shh, I'm gonna go give a fucking 2-week notice at my shop, you know, and I was gone. He looks out for me and I'm just trying to learn. That's somebody that I really look up to, and like I helped him out, so like, you know, I hustled for him. I used to book his appointments and everything, and like, I want to be an artist, seeing him doing it and like being family man and like, you know what I'm saying? Like,